Hello. Hey, everyone. I hate to interrupt everyone's conversations, which I'm sure are engaging, but we're going to get started, if that's cool with everyone. Okay. So welcome. Thank you for coming. The floors should be clean, so if you want to sit, please sit. If you don't, also, you can sit here as well. So I'm just going to introduce the night. I'm Ashley Opheim, and you guys are in the space called Gamma. And Gamma is part of a brand new institute in Montreal called Godberd. And Godberd is a conduit that curates, channels, and supports local artists in their work. And this is the physical and immersive extension of Godberd, where people flock together. So every month, the concept with this space is that every month, I love that there's a dog up here with me. Would you like to say anything? I really like that response to a mic, meh. So each month, this space is going to be curated by a different person or a group of people. And I've been lucky enough to be working with them with Metatron, the press that I run for the past month. And so this is how things are going to go. We're going to do 4 readings, and then we're going to take a little break. Oh yeah, I guess one more thing I should mention is that drinks, as you guys are aware, are compliments of Godberd. But if you would like to leave a donation, which is highly encouraged, please leave them at the door with Margot. So our first reader did not send me a bio, but I know her and she's lovely. Olivia Wood is a local poet and muse. Her first collection of poetry, A Work No One Told You About, was published by Metatron in 2015. Our second reader is going to be Aaron Boothby, who's a writer from California, now living in Montreal. His work has appeared in Prism, The Puritan, and Vallum, and he is co-editor of the poetry review site Debutantes. And he has a chapbook titled, wow, I don't even know if I can say this, Reperspirations. I don't think that word has ever escaped my mouth. Reperspirations. I'd like to hear about that title when you come up here. Anyways, it was published last year with Anne Struther Press. Our next reader will be Marie Darsigny, who's a bilingual artist and poet from Montreal. She studied literature and creative writing at Concordia University and at the Université du Québec at Montreal. And she co-founded the online platform and print magazine Filmicile, which is amazing. You should check it out. It aims to promote Quebec literature made by self-identified women. A Little Death Around the Heart is her first collection of poetry in English that Metatron published. And she just had a book come out called Fille, and it is her first collection of poetry in French. And then our last reader of the set is going to be Ali Pinkney, who is a writer who lives on the unceded island known as Montreal. She graduated from Concordia University this spring with a poetics-focused BA. Ali's book Tampion was one of the initial manuscripts that launched with Metatron. And she also recently, I guess she co-edited, or she edited and curated the last issue of Bad Nudes and wrote an amazing piece about her choices in that, so you should check that out. So yeah, lots of great things about to happen. Let's get it started. Let's listen to some poetry.
Hi, thanks, Ashley. It's really great. It's a very tall stage. It's very dark, too. Okay. It's good. No, it's all good. Thank you. Monument. Well, what do we do when it dies, with the red floor of death salting its wounds at us? It is good to make penance out of other things. Hardy work, death work. The miracle occurs when you name the true thing, like metallic taste of loneliness, or dream which was the weight and texture of cantaloupe, or the large rattle, rattle, rattle of a curse coming to find you. Well, what do we do when it dies? When it died suffering, if there was take and it was bad. The residents of the town passed their hands over doors in the afternoon listlessly, one full of dread, one distracted, ones whose hands had been newly animated by admiration. The currency of the dead does not ascribe much value to pity. The loose havoc of death touches you, drives down to the quarry and kisses her first kiss, plays spin the PVC pipe. It is good to make penance out of things. Some would rather try and give back the verbs tear, get, wreck, abscess, and call it law. But sometimes when death touches you, you become constructed by death, the lake and your orgasm twitching at the shore. Wind. Social as in it is populated, populated in that it is inhabited. Specific because we made monuments and had moral fabrics and punishments so severe that they were made pervasive and could not be spoken of or fully understood even in their speaking. The strip mall shakes down her hair in suggestion, reclining, unincorporated, and the warehouses nearby house swatches of dirt. Moneyed as in there were bodies felled, faces bloodied, legs abstracted, whole regions exposed to water poisoning in an oblique and ineffectual type of activism. What are the requirements for demand to exist? Different kinds of numbness pervade each century. Different modes are generated and executed on the fly to agitate this feeling among people. It is important to resist a historical poetry. People die inside systems and become the sawdust used to alleviate fire risk. People become fabric and elevate others to wild and lawless heights, define marginal utility. Others suffocate on cement with a civil servant on their windpipe. Which system of logic and empathy you apply to the system you inhabit says a lot. How is a demand schedule created? About your popularity and tax bracket and sex habits and favorite foods and drinks. Things can be made specific as easily as they can be obscured. Define the paradox of value. There was scaffolding put in at the base of the river in order to pass very tall trees so that they could later become masts. What is the production possibilities frontier? A face in the black noon, that tone which is clean white and keening towards self-immolation, saying something you felt was beside the point, arms losing feeling in the dumb July air. How is a nation's wealth expressed? How is a nation's wealth expressed? It's the first time I've read that out loud. And I edited it on the bus. I was listening to a live Santana album and editing it on the bus on the way here. And I can't read my handwriting, so it's really purple up here, but thanks for bearing with me. This was just published in Lest, which is Sarah Sutherland's project, which is super great. It's called The Contract. Yet in my sleeping, a contract may arise. The particular shoulders of cattle twitch and fall outdoors in the blue light. Some Spartan desire within me compounds quietly, rubs cogently against the invitation that lies coyly over some arms like an era. The reversal, she-I takes and bosses, and little beach tomatoes fall out. Did I have little bluebells in the yard? Desire cancels itself in its middling hours. Desire a bad trouble keeps leaking out. Am I weak? Yes. Am I acquainted with mouth actions? What gets tamped down in a promise? Yes. The difference between attention and a vacuum evades me, though. After the blood after evades me also. Will it have been worth the commission, I wonder, heaping the pennies of my early sexuality against the cement of the oscillating shore, tossing the excrement over the side, thinking, so unbearable to have been near others. How am I for time? that feel? Okay. On the phone. I've been meaning to put ink in my printer for a long time. Thank God. Right? Okay. For economic reasons, she took the same path each day. Empire waist and short brow, like as in invested in fortitude. Literally each day. And the middle-aged woman watching the game at the cafe with her legs open and Tupperware at the table at midday, like it is all breathing its own order. And for some, the trappings of the propaganda of the self are more actual or comprehensive than for others. Something about something worth hiding. The duck and ran of the evening, the badness of a cold fall, the worse badness of a warm spring, a hard slab of butter on the mainland. Malady which is showing itself coyly in speech, quick pop of pleasure at the crown. The play was performed 6 consecutive nights, extreme success we never imagined, the tub leaking down to the basement where, yes, he did die. Did they tell the next tenants? I'm not sure. Picnic under brocade. It is true the silo was painfully full. Seep and rife at the bottom, bad. Dogs rush in from the house when I stand up from my chair. I'm playing the long game. I'm loose in the limb, manifesting my women. May you always be this sensual, lying in the bluegrass of your in-law's yard, making quiet, permanent suffering sounds on the trundle bed, shucking an oyster on the stair. A PBS documentary about the Dust Bowl means I am building a fortress of impossible suffering. Leave me be, I have transcended time and fear of violence means I am going into town to get some marmalade, would you like anything? Sounds don't care if you say them. Plus some fears are useful, right? While others are not. Fear of heights, fear of peeled grapes, fear you'll accidentally bite the head off, fear of balloons, fear of enclosure. So I cut the cord, so what? Thanks.
Maybe. Yeah, good. I didn't want to raise it because I'm probably the tallest person that's going to be up here, and then everybody else would be like messing with it. It'd be really annoying. But you can hear me. It's cool. Yeah? Thank you. That was perfect. I'm actually not going to read from the chapbook, but it's called Reperspirations, Exhalations, Rapt Inflections. And before it was being published, somebody asked me about it. And I couldn't remember the name. I had no idea what I'd called it. I just like blanked out. I was like, oh, I have a chapbook coming out. It's called I don't know. So it's called that. I don't know exactly what it means. Reperspirations, like sweating and then sweating it again, like things sort of coming in and coming out in this like continual process, I guess. But I'm not going to read from that. I'm going to read some stuff I've never read. That's, I know, it's fun that way, right? And is they're kind of like poems. They're kind of like meditations. They're really about the feeling of having read something that just kind of activated like your entire body. And before you're thinking about it, you're just kind of like feeling those things and seeing where it goes. So there's 2 of them. The first one's from this book called Creature by Amina Kane, which I don't know if any of you know. If you don't, she's amazing and worth reading. So they both begin with lines from the book. So the first little bit is from Creature. I walked around looking at the orchids, at their ways of being in air. Some of them seemed like they were holding it, like they were spoons or bowls. More muscled, being of air than memory says. There are many methods of forgetting immersion, countering our words, reintroducing skin into fluid that are illicit methods. not spells, but which must be taught, mapped. A body mapped back onto a body as saying, capable of sensing air's sea on hair waving past skin, in memory of an aquatic past. Creatures bound to soil, flesh clenched to stone. A burrow erected as enclosure of air is home. Petals of an orchid tremble as I pass the threshold into held air. An enclosure breathes green, exhales a fluid substance. It has a taste. I can open a mouth to hold it, and I do, without rhythm of in or out, against pulse, to cease a moment, being briefly a cup where air's fluid pools, before heart again demands. Within a violet spell urging aches memory, alive authors, a mechanics of breath, a tongue of air, serpentine's legs. Bone feels leaves ask as each rests in their stillness, above a tremble in solar bliss, while breath flows cooling, dries tongues heavier wet. I heresy a pleasure of growth. Their ways of being vibrate, a living suspension. A note begins, a moan, a call layering itself across another. I listen to music of STEM's achievement when petals open, close, their method of cells adhering to other cells without story, forming a moist enclosure without melodic. The orchid enacts a harmony, glacial groan of leaves unfurling, roots feline scream, breaking waves of petals without time, towards light intensifying, a low hum announcing suns vanish. Holding, held by air's temperament, a flower contains a weather. My mouth pools an atmosphere that is not an exception. A bowl where a transmission rests, where tide fills creatures' remind, stars and anemones in a landscape of flesh, a cup's celestial mirror of desire's atomic burn. Illicit methods in the recall of a burrowing aquatic creature's live inhabitations. How air churns, what's floral wants like what flower asks, when dew glides in droplets down leaf's fold to root what receiving tastes like, at mercies of weather, of care, at mercy within aerial substances that are a place to be. Thrumming comes upon, it is all time, does one thing until exhausted, without and then, without and. Leaf is doing like star is doing until not. Breath sounds a floral pulse of opens and closes, opens, never closes before a fall. It was like a maybe clap, maybe not clap, maybe. So the second one is Clarice Lispector, who hopefully everybody knows. Everybody doesn't know, you should read her, she's amazing. And this one I kind of wrote, if anyone has the collected Lispector stories, there's like her face on it with kind of rays coming out of her mouth, and I put it like behind this oil lamp so it was kind of flickering, and she was like staring at me, thinking, who knows what she was thinking. So this one's kind of about being, it's about ghosts that live in your body. And we all know that happens, right? And so some of them are people you know probably, or like people you loved, and then some of them are just obviously you in like different forms, and maybe like you living previously, or like you that haven't lived yet. Anyway, so they're like full of ghosts. And so this is about her like meeting her own ghost. And when my own ghost claims me, then it's such a joyful encounter, such a celebration, that in a manner of speaking we cry on each other's shoulders. Words arise in a lonesome that's never alone, is always with, surfacing at the tip, fluorescent, degraded music. When they speak, who is them? What edges the place for I to stand, inhabited and inhabiting? Bright moon vanishing, every star is a flood of not knowing. Nights, voiceless rooms for making, swarmed by embassies, who lives an eye in the glimmer of meetings. Having created for themselves an archive of glimpses, rose petals decay in melted forms, a sweet smell mixed with smoke and incense. Soil accumulates, magentas fade, when cloud obscures moon, is a fragrance forgotten before remembered. They are not called, they come. No emissary carries a word that does not burn. Then this is what the eye's edge is moving towards. Tidal whispers, moving leaves. Desire holds no muscles, first to stillness, a waiting of cupped petals. To move towards them, they must first arrive. They are not called. They come out the sweet smoke of rose, out fumes of burning leaves. Because once desire was animate, a voice said, or a touch was, breath tore. In tear engendered a glimpse. Something was born there. There is sleep, like there is awake. They recede and meandering return. Where do they visit between? Whose edge of eye do they wrap around this flagrantly? Lonesome as memory bubbles moving towards each shadow. They're speaking of gestures. They say by their attendance, by appearing, with no claim to them that they inhabit at work. Inside the rose's cloud, they incarnate and they wait. Do there remain methods to greet absence? The shadows are full. The flame burns oil and smudged eyes stare, with a desire that is past the edge of eye, beyond, to their own incarnations incomplete within the globe's edge. Does the desire ask to be more than cloud? Here a body has been found. When it is still, when it is most like dreaming, they come, incarnate, out of an alone posed as forgot. They vanish, but they do not go. Do they go quiet? They are a lapping and tidal. When bodies are near, the sea calls them back. Their bodies depart. The leaves go still. The moon obliterates stars, and they appear again. If there is I in them, how do they pose so well as other, approaching rarely with a touch? What the memories have germinated are watchers. They see, do not say what they see. I return within my own edges, clouded by smoke and rose, glad to be solid, to not be taken. That's it. Thanks.
Hey, hi. Okay. I am going to do something that I have never done because I never had the opportunity, so thank you, Ashley. I will read from my 2 books of poetry, so English and French. And also I've been spending the last 2 years studying at UQAM, so I never really could speak English. So, and like they want you because you bring diversity, and then they tell you that what you do is shit. So Anyway, don't go to school. But I'm finishing anyway now. Okay. Dead Poets of the MySpace Society. I reactivated my MySpace account, only to find out that you had erased yours. I tell people about you all the time. You are my favorite ghost. Maybe I made you up inside my head. Maybe I'll close my eyes and the world will drop dead. Maybe I'll open my eyes and you'll be back from the dead. Sylvia Plath will be back too. Virginia Woolf as well. It's a party. Bring back all the dead poets. Dead poets are the best poets. But you were a better poet when you were alive. I tell people about you all the time. Virginia Woolf says I'm a liar. Sylvia Plath says that she made you up inside her head. It's a party. Bring yourself back to life. The dead poets can stay dead, but please come back. I'll help you reactivate your MySpace profile. I'll put myself in your top 8. Fille numéro 4. La fille parfaite, la femme de ma vie, mon âme sœur et autres expressions convenues pour dire que dans le temps de MySpace, tu étais dans mon top 8. See, like, I try to pick stuff that's like the same topic because we always write about the same things, right? Happens. Okay. Love, love, loved your dim presence. You used to text me all the time in the middle of the night. I told you that I loved this dim presence, but let's be honest. Your presence wasn't dim at all. It was more like being blinded by the headlights of a 10-ton truck driven by a drunk Morrissey on a killing spree. It was more like buying a last-minute plane ticket to Boston before hearing you say, "I'm not available that weekend." It was more like having to tear the plane ticket to pieces because airlines don't refund tickets to stupid girls who fall for BlackBerry poetry before falling asleep, dreaming to die by their lover's side, such a heavenly way to die. Bonne nuit. Oublie les photos sexy. Je préfère les longs messages Facebook auxquels seul le crochet répond seen at 3:30 a.m. Je rêve d'être l'emoji du bonhomme pas de bouche. Okay. Ah ouais. Okay. Like AA, but for people who can get over imaginary lovers. I want to set up a kind of group therapy where people can come drink tap water and listen to Fleetwood Mac while grieving for their imaginary lovers. I would greet them by saying, "Hi, I'm so glad you decided to give free rein to your emotions. Jenny Holzer would approve. We can call this performance art, like Stevie Nicks cutting her hair on stage and eating it. I approve of crying in public. I understand that you lost the will to live." To get rid, you lost the will to get rid of your attachment issues. Not the will to live, but same thing. So here, have a drink. Have all the drinks. Tell me everything about your exes, and yes, you can make up interactions with them to justify your current hate for the human race. It's okay, I want to kick most people too. When that happens, I take the time to share my anxieties in public in order to avoid annihilating everyone around me. So here, have a drink and tell me lies. Tell me sweet little lies. Pas capable d'arrêter de watcher Intervention. Je mange un sac de peanuts, une fille se fait vomir, je cale 6 bières, un gars sniffe une traque. Je pleure lorsqu'ils disent oui au treatment. Moi aussi, je la veux, la Betty Ford Clinic, le Remuda Ranch, California, le Springs Center of Healing. N'importe où, je pourrais avoir un break et une infirmière qui traque mon progrès à coups d'étoiles dorées sur mon calendrier. And I don't think I found, yeah, I don't think I found other ones that really spoke to each other. So I'm just gonna pick one, the last one. Oh yeah, that's good, because I've talked to you guys about my experience at UQAM, so I'm gonna read these. Slice of life littéraire numéro 1. Je bullshit sur des textes que je n'ai pas lus. Fin prête pour les séminaires de maîtrise. Check-moi bien citer Brigitte Fontaine. Tu peux dire que tu as lu Duras au secondaire. De deux choses l'une, soit tu fais semblant, soit tu allais dans un collège de filles. En haut d'un sex shop, à côté d'un bar de danseuses, en face d'un cinéma 3X, je me suis inscrite à la concentration en études féministes. J'utilise le plus d'anglicisme possible parce que j'ai fait mon bac à Concordia. UQAM bitches love Baudelaire. Merci.
Hello. Dad made me go get sticks in the woods for marshmallows, Litchi said all of a sudden, leading their carving way and holding the twiggy woods back to a sling, a path for her friend. I tried to refuse the chore because it was boring. It was the first time I really knew I was experiencing boredom, you know? Spiegel nodded at her and picked up a toothed yellow ring from the lip of a plastic bottle, and then picked up a second and passed it to Litchi. And you know what he told me? They could hear the kazoo player passing on the path that was about 4 minutes back from where they'd come, climbing over the rock face, and Litchi accepted Spiegel's recycling. He told me that sometimes I had to do boring things to make the fun things better. And that's the whole thing about monotony, right? It makes the ocean wake of change feel novel. Spiegel put the plastic ring on his finger. Yeah. You just read Ruskin or something? Yeah. You've read him, eh? Guy looks like a depraved werewolf, don't you think? He does. I'd say being bored and boredom is just psychic brain code to externalize a deep need to be bored. Spiegel then, he's trying to convince Litchi to give him a trepanation, and they're at a fire together. A frog rustled in the mulch of oak leaves, and Spiegel jumped. Liddy got up and caught it, which took a few tries. She held it up so it looked like it was bipedal, and imagined a top hat for it, sort of bouncing it and humming an old ditty like it was selling peanuts. Spiegel could tell she meant this to be funny, and he thought it was funny that she was doing it, but she seemed like she was doing it on autopilot, which was a bit unsettling for him. A universality, here the universality of self-consciousness, is temporarily yoked by the copula to some forlorn particular, which suggests that contingency is just a name for the point at which enquiry gives up. Effigy switch. Out of context, there is no irrational stressed situation. There is no stress inherent in the sound. The stress is relational. The beauty of the stress is in its adaptable brachial mutability to create a situation of a particular to a universal proportion, is to create a ration for the stress of the sound of the water that drops in the water the way water drops in the water, the sound for the copular particular out of context. There is no rational stress, and the aim is the ledger for the context. And that context is a situation, all logical, inheritable, encased, a carapace for the aim, that the water dropped in the water, discernible in that particular context of the situation, nothing but a carapace of water over water going down or up if you are contextualizing the core as your ledgered aim. Out of context, there's no universal stressed relation. Out of context, you reverse the quotidian of the particular universal, but the particular quotidian is the drop out of the water hole, and we know is that we loathe to offend with the irrational. Fear of thirst. We know the perpetual stranger influenced this, and I let it wet my bones. We with abyss. I got the phrase at the hospital I was operated on. A nurse or admission nurse stepped into the barbecue smoke and said, because it was going to rain and the up was dark, that she had entered the abyss to the barbecue operator, who later told me his name was James. The decision to become we with abyss was the only way I could see fit to preserve a sense of self that was free of performativity, which seemed to me the antithesis of reality, but without the monitor. What is that? I am still asking. Is it preemptive effacement? Litchi and Spiegel met at the top of the stairs of the Milton Gates, which are the parking meter arms, black and yellow limbo sticks. They walked their usual route up McTavish to Daping, waited for the flurry of cars to pass, and ran across and hiked up the slope of the hill to go past the Ravens Crag gates. Up the pavement pathway and to right side entrance of the old stables with the big cement horse head. At the stables, Spiegel broke the lock that was keeping the metal door in place with Litchi's long thigh knife. He pushed up the metal door and slid under it first, then held out his hand for her to follow him. There was an industrial lamp in a cage that hung from the rafters, and Spiegel turned it on. It buzzed and swung. Chilly. He took out the supplies he had in his bag and spread his reindeer jacket over the hay. There was a dirty mirror on the work table, and he moved so that it was in front of the jacket. I want to see your work. Spiegel had ordered a special drill bit that stopped automatically at the end of the skull, and he said he felt weird testing it on fruit because it'd go into his head. But also he felt weird about just using it straight away, so he really had to trust her, which he said he did. He sat facing away from the mirror to prove this to himself. He told Litchi to test it on the honeydew melon he brought, which she did, and to her surprise, the drill bit stopped after the dark green perimeter ring. She cleaned it with the peroxide and could tell Spiegel was nervous because of the way he was breathing slowly in through his nose and out through his mouth, and the way he was smiling rectangular. Liddy pulled out her purple lipstick and drew an X on his forehead. She sat in front of him and without any words, drilled through his skull. The blood shot out of his head. Making a loud inner cheek pummel, Liddy her face, eyes drenched in Spiegel's blood, felt septic air on the retina drenched. They both laughed with horror as the blood spangled magma over the hot rafters. Gulped chalk and inhaled young nostrils. They let it spangle out until it stopped spraying everywhere, and Liddy wrapped the gauze Spiegel brought around his head and asked him how he felt, holding his ear to the space between her breasts. Thank you to my medley.
A visiting author from New York, a visiting author from Hamilton, and I'm also going to do some poetry. So, yes, in a moment.
High High
Hello. Hey. We're going to go again. Okay, here we are. We are here in space and time together. It's kind of a miracle, if you think about it. I just wanted to do a little shout out to Paloma Dawkins, who is doing the visuals. These are all video games, actually, that she's made, and Paloma and I are actually collaborating on a virtual reality video game right now, and I think it's going to be ready in like November, is the plan. So yeah, that will be interesting. It's been a beautiful project. So believe it or not, I'm going to be the first reader. I'm not going to give myself a bio, but I'm Ashley Opime, Ashley Obscura to some, and I'm going to read some poetry. Okay, same desire. Somewhere where the darkness was, all the stars were clapping their hands in amazement of us. We shared the same desire. My fingers released your eyes, received your fingers, released my eyes, received flowers all night under the constellation of your stare, with nothing to hold on to, building the dream we dreamt together, letting go of something we never even held, whispered, there is no returning without going, and no going without returning. So when you drew back, I advanced, and we stayed that way, standing in the desert of our love, cleaving the ether amidst the sparkle, counting the choir of crystals inside our throats. Tigre. I parade through this affair with wet hair and a tan, roll a eucalyptus candy between my tongue and cheek. My emotions manifest all these elegant, extended sentiments about him, for I am leaving our country feeling more alive than when I arrived. In the airport, we send each other emojis, red hearts and shooting stars and pink flowers. He says, this feeling for you will fade. And yes, it hurts, but I am thinking of him while charging my MacBook in the airport with these paper flower crowns I don't want to crumble. I finger the periphery of the bruises on my legs we made together. Think about eye contact under the bougainvillea tree. His light brown iris amongst Catholic pewter charms, an arm, a leg, a heart, an eye. Bounce this thing between us with a sparkly rainbow tail. For him in the heat, our eyelids chiming. For him opening a door for me. For him over papaya. For him opening a window for me. For he walked on the outside of the sidewalk. A Mexican custom, men do. For he was a beautiful exception. He said, I want you to beg for it. I am so tantalized by that stupid cosmic thing I always want to touch. My imagination is so wild about this, the air force of desire, the stamina of passion. I want him in fields of blue agave. I want him, my alien tentacle. I want him covered in flowers, oranges, and chili. I want him, this man of the red moon, this child of vanilla and cinnamon. I want him in the middle of a dream, self-existing. I want him trembling on this web I am on, atop fragrant patterns. I want him in the park in the middle of a city, like rare fruit. I kiss his beautiful brown palm. He lightly touches my face and hair and sees his beauty reflected here, and me too, I see myself there. Two wild vagabonds. Spilling romantic texts from my balcony on Christophe Colomb. Babe, this feeling I have for you is fucking wild. Yes, I am obsessed with how we would look together, like siblings, like movie stars, like rain in the desert. I have let so much go, you wouldn't believe it. You say, cherish the night, and I do. I will cherish my nights, and I hope you, too. I coil in my sleep, grind the days, awake with you on my mind. I'm happy to work through these feelings with you, but I don't know anything. My moods are many lamps. You should know, relationships have been my poverty. Monogamy, a house built around me to keep others out. But just to touch you, the urgency of being, not touching you, the urgency of emptiness, with you I am spilling, loyalty, naturally, I don't mind. I want to open up to you, but I'm closed like glue, closed like a cloud holding rain, potential flowers. I want to be softer. I'm trying, but life has, you know, done this thing to me where my heart doesn't always feel like it lives inside of me. I'm sorry, waiting for you to bring your mouth to mine. In the mountains of us, I am reading to you before bed. All the breathing we are doing together are making utopias blossom. I am letting you touch me like, come on, that's delicate. For two wild vagabonds. I'm deep in the underworld of heart tissue, and your light is dear to me. Arrow. Thank you. This is a new one I wrote. Carrying more than I can hold. On Instagram, everyone lives in paradise. I hate art under capitalism. Everything reduced to profit, likability. I'm bored of watching people pursue money, social capital, exhausted by politics, doing nothing for nobody, responsible for my parents being sad. In airports, I grieve how I can only be in one place at one time, physically. Sometimes I am incapable of carrying the weight of existence and being loved. I wrote this one last night at a dinner party. Various animals. To be fair, some of the lines are taken from various things people were saying. He takes a bite of my cake without asking. How to react to a wild animal. Be quiet at first. Be big only when the threat of attack transpires. Made mistakes when I rushed, which was all the time. Chasing reprise, the sun at an angle, or a deer breaking metal, boys pushing pedals of distance. Why am I on this road? Just killing animals, guzzling gas, hitting herons, huge, beautiful, whoosh, whoosh. The geometry of it all just crumpled. Do you ever think about the suicide of eagles? Peeling one out, blowing off in the wind. She killed freedom. We called her the freedom killer for a while. And the poetry of flashing lights was better than the language I had. Turned off our lights on open roads. I saw you angry by the flowers. The wasps came out in the heat. I was not as lucid as in 2012 when I died a sort of death. It's complicated how it's hard to talk about. Do you guys remember 2012? It was a crazy time. A raccoon at night startled me. This happened a couple nights ago. There was I was having a cigarette, a raccoon came out, and it was really, well, hold on, it's in the poem. But now it's lost. And it was cute. I think I can. Hold on, I lost my space, but I'll remember it. A raccoon startled me at night. It was cute, and I wanted it to withhold its urge to be afraid, to be combative, because the whole point is that, you know how we're so scared of nature sometimes, and we create this boundary between ourselves and animals, and I really wanted the raccoon to be a cat to come up and you know how they they slink in through your legs and hit, flip their tail against you, and I really wanted the raccoon to do this to me, but I knew that would never happen, and I was sad about it. So that's the end of that poem. Okay. Organic come. One day I'll be better. I'll be an earth mama. Love myself fully and unconditionally. Live in California. Practice a raw food diet. Snack on goji berries and flower petals. Take spirit quests in the desert. Converse with the local flora and fauna. Meditate near rainbow rocks. I will find my soul family and my soul home, and we will all take care of each other and harvest a sustainable farm and live without money. I'll breastfeed my babies by a wild river while doing a headstand. My children will be raised by everyone I love, and we'll all live in the same place and never want to leave. The sun will come all over me. I'll live every day with gratitude. Everything will be beautiful and good. I have one more. When my body is next to yours, it is safe. Found a new color in the pussy of my friend, who swells with a new feeling, takes my wrist and applies a new scent. Now I'm living good, studying the waves of paper, dancing as therapy, biking recklessly over potholes, accelerating towards divine failure, burning bridges. I am reckless and tender. Last time I saw her, I left her feeling light and wet, like a wave bending towards the sky. I am feeling so many things, an error in data. Nostalgia feels good, betrayal bad. Kissing in back alleys, kissing on dance floors, kissing on street corners, kissing for the camera, kissing 11. She brings the generosity out of me. And since he left, I have been bad, have been kissing crimes to exist through the suffering the chemicals, the melancholy, the typing, the girls of silkscreen, the girls painting in their bedrooms, abandoning their bodies on the internet, feeding cats, posting about them on Instagram, shellac on park $10 drinks. People are nice to us because, God damn it, look at us. Feeling between 11's legs in the back seat, sitar for her stare, paddle for the stare in her eyes, kissing by the fountain, kissing for the motion moving through us and out. Okay. Okay, so I'm up here for a little bit longer. Thank you all. I'm going to introduce 2 more poets, and then we're good. We're done. We did our poetry time. S.K. Hughes is a poet, activist, and healer currently based in Hamilton, Ontario. Her work is deeply vulnerable and brings her erotic and personal life to the forefront. Her 2016 collection, Bloodlust and Dream, is rooted in the geography of Toronto and reads like an abstract memoir of a queer life. She recently founded Moon Milk. You can buy copies here. Oh no, Moon Milk is a reading series. That's right. Well, there's Milkweed, which is here, and then Moon Milk, which is a reading series. And the most recent issue was released recently, and it explores privacy and visibility, in the digital media age. And then our last reader is originally from New Zealand, but currently living in New York City. And she's a writer, poet, and performer, and also the contributing editor. Hold on. I feel like I don't want to read these bios, and that's why I'm like, how do I? Okay. She it's not in your bio, but you're an editor at Mask Magazine. It's not. Oh yeah. I guess it is here. And she spends a lot of time thinking about intimacy, resistance, and how to create community and education alternatives. So yeah, here we go.
I classically struggle with this. Okay, here we go. Thanks so much, Ashley. I'm very grateful and humbled to be here in this super fucking cool space. And in Montreal. This is my first time reading in Montreal, and it feels super nice. I'm anticipating it feeling nice. Also, just want to remind myself and us all that we're on unceded land traditionally stewarded by the Haudenosaunee and Mohawk, and there's one other First Nation that I don't remember. I've been touring and I try to learn each time, but those are 2 of the three First Nations that have traditionally stewarded this land. I usually talk a lot, but I'm going to try not to. Just try to read. Okay, this is a brand new one. I never rhyme. It has some vague rhyming, which is a real departure from form for me. So, I'm growing. It's called Summer Creatures. Oh, this is Archer. Summer creatures creep out, slow and thick. Medicine's wick, a transient drip. Crank calendula into every crevice, like gem filled my every hole. Sew me up, crammed with gut and grit and soft-boiled steel. Eggy eggs and kefir on muesli, with the little cubed apricots, morning meals I've watched men scarf. Leo season has hot dog days, monolithed, oil lamped. Jem said I stood way up on a book fair pillar because of my Leo rising, and that he left me because he's a Gemini. I stitched the twins onto the little bag I made for his Jodorowsky deck. What's a queer to do when tarot is a trigger? It's been a year, eyes are itching again, ragweed out in coots, roots filtering the industrial filth, sending up pollen that puffed my face on West Ave. There's lithium in amethyst. Sunflowers can turn their heads, moon-faced and beaming. That's one. I'm gonna read. I'm having trouble telling if it's the right volume, like if I'm the right distance from the microphone. Okay, cool. I don't want to be too close. Sometimes I do that, and then it's like the bad ear sound. So this is from Bloodlust and Dream. It's over there. A couple bucks would be great. If you want it, take it. And I also have Milkweed here, which is this feminist erotic magazine that I run with my friend Stacy and a bunch of other amazing folks. And I have the t-shirts. I don't know. Thought maybe people will be into it. Okay, this is from Bloodlust and Dream, number 3. Last night I lay awake and realized it had been 42 days since my last bleed. Well, except for the bleed from my knee and my head when they smashed into the pavement after too much Cote Elbray. That night you made me ice my face. I just wanted to fuck. That wasn't the time, though, that your seed might have spilled inside me. It was the time before, or before that. I remember I came. Folks' wisdom brought alive. So I laid awake, my tautic cells dancing in my mind and maybe my belly. You told me you would come to the Boom Boom, and I realized this could be our own Toronto bad poetry obvious child. Maybe Lumina is inside me and her light would burst forth and I could write like Bethany. Or maybe it's a booze and blow-induced nightmare soaking into teratogens and hating me already. Or maybe it's nothing and always will be nothing. I pissed on the stick, brand name to be safe if I can still say that word. The cross wasn't there, no sign of immaculate conception mocking my dirty mind. No phone calls, no tears, just waiting for a slick scarlet slime to tell me I'm not broken or colonized. I did an incredibly organized thing today where I put the papers in the actual order that I'm reading them. I never thought to do that before. Okay, this is called The Heart is Just a Pump. A week into cardiology, Jem smashed my heart. When I went to his place for my bike, I was bathed in the perfume of the backyard Concords. The hot summer made them spill with sugars. By July, they called for plucking, no longer a sour adventure. Jem's bike was gone. He must have taken it to the city. The city that I love and he tolerated to love me. Where I found him scrambling up a pole outside the shoe, post-Venus on edge. The night he turned 26 but was 16 again. You look familiar. We never got that story straight, but I was back in his town, our places traded, back where I would whisper goodbye into his hot mouth and ride south towards the mountain and the bus home, licking his tongue in hopes his whole form would retreat down my throat and down further still until he could reach my cunt. Back in Steeltown, sucking meat off the bones of Freetown Sound. Back with the Concords. A 10 ripped and dirty purple laid in the walkway. I left it. The punks downstairs need it more than me. And above, hanging from the tangled ropey vines, the translucent globes were bursting from their waxy casing, no longer tolerating the constriction of the slip skin. Okay, that's that one. Oh, fuck, I forgot to say a thing, which I forgot on Tuesday in Halifax too. Some things that I'm gonna talk about include like sexual violence, and what else do I want to say? I just forget which ones I'm reading. I guess my point is that if you feel like you need to step out or tune out, those are welcome things to do. Also, if you want to talk to me after about anything that I talk about, that's like heartily welcomed. So this is called nuance blinders. You wear them when we talk about gender dysphoria, spout an essentialism that would never fly if you weren't talking about trans folks, if you weren't so goddamn progressive. Sex is between the thighs, gender is between the ears. We have regressed back to Cartesian dualism. Born in the wrong body. Buns wore their nuance blinders when discussing the Canadian Blood Services policy that keeps queers from giving blood. They reject history, forget the whole generation of hemophiliacs who died of AIDS before we knew that the virus lives in the CD4 cells and had the enzyme immunoassay down pat. I want the queer blood to flow, not from bashings, but from a nurse with a smile and orange juice. But if I say that men who fuck men are truly at a higher risk of HIV, I'm a homophobe. They strap them on you when you join a feminist Facebook group where who wins the oppression Olympics dictates who gets to be right, and a dissenting opinion is a garbage fire. Manic is an ableist slur, but it helps people understand why she's acting this way, posting 30 times a day. Someone said redacted is a rapist. In South Africa, his home, there were 42,596 reported rapes last year. And Ashley's family left when she was 5 after her babysitter was abducted. For a year, he has wondered what he did and to whom. Were they drunk? If she's in his class, and whether he will be allowed into the party. Toronto streets became filled with jurors who made up their minds when the word passed their lips. But who cares about that? The streets aren't safe for women anyways. Redacted is a rapist, and rapists should be suicidal. He is on the list of very evil abusers who have no soul or pain of their own and cannot be allowed into the party. Okay. It's okay. So the other, I guess death and dying is the other thing that I wanted to mention that I talk about that is sometimes not a thing that people want to hear about, which is totally fine. This is called Code Blue. Her thighs, silvery white like fish bellies, bounced as I compressed. Staying alive, staying alive. I watched the monitor, trying to hit that perfect 120 BPM to perfuse her brain. 45 minutes since her heart stopped and cells started screaming for oxygen, pulling every last phosphate off adenosine. They had sheared off her slacks, slits up to the iliac crest, crumpled her blue undies over her vulva. What is dignity with a metal tube down into your lungs, 10 gloved hands pushing life back in, but death came and went already? I would glance at the bubbled blood on her lips, hearing breath sounds, thought she'd returned. The kindest thing to do is... The kindest thing to do is... 65, no history of heart disease. Ultrasound showed no blood in the belly. 2 daughters my age. I thought of my mom's thighs, same ripples and translucency that always come by 65 and kept 120 BPM. Stopped for femoral pulse check, then stopped for good. The kindest thing. Okay, I'm going to read one more. Again, thank you so much to Ashley and Metatron and Godberd in this like super cool space. I wish there was a space like this in Toronto. It's really amazing. I scrub my scalp with just my fingers, like in the lake with the kids, teaching them to dive down and scoop handfuls of sand to grind onto their pits, coaxing some wildness from their preteen pride. Now scrubbing in a shallow tub, not gleaming porcelain like in the city. I shaved my head full Britney after Jem left. Put away the tresemme, not tested on animals, but sulfates and laurel unwreathed. Wynne says that Dr. Bronner's will strip the good stuff too harsh, and they like the smell of dirty hair. So do I. My first patient in Emerge, drunker than she would admit, said, "I love your hair and your nose." Hepatic encephalopathy with codeine bunging her up, the shit somehow swelling her brain. I wore earrings with my scrubs to avoid the embarrassment of being called sir. Theirs, not mine. The oils from my scalp emulsify in the lavender bath water. Detergent on my fingertips, rinsed before another go, to get the dirty hair smell out and smell more like a doctor should. Water slapping itself sounds tinny, but warmer, like a coin spinning on polished pine. I'm done. Thank you. Please take a look at Milkweed or whatever if you want. I'm selling them. I also have a Square, so if you're like, I don't have cash, but I have a credit card, I can accept that. So.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging around. I know it's, well, not that late, but I'm old, so. One thing that Ashley didn't mention is my name. It's Ruby Brunton, and I'm actually originally from New Mexico. Then I moved to New Zealand, and now I live in New York. So I only live in places that begin with new. If you have a suggestion for my next location, let me know after the reading. I would like to say a big thank you to Ashley, who's not only an amazing host, although she did, forget my name and everything. She's an amazing host of a reading series. She's also an amazing host of guests in her beautiful apartment. She's been taking very good care of me since I got here, and I'm very grateful. All right, I'm going to read a poem that I wrote today first, and then move into some other stuff. My friend gave me the title. We do this little thing where we give each other a title, and then we have to write the poem based around the title that the other person gave us. I'm a little jealous of you fucking other women, but it's totally fine too. Sometimes I don't say what I mean. Even more, I talk shit about stuff I don't understand. I'm not a woman who knows how to shrink. Never was desirable, now living it up, a whole new world with men in Aladdin pants. Bottles of red wine, tropical fruit, endless spliffs. Oh, some asshole with a guitar interrupts my thoughts. Hey man, what are those hiking boots for? There is no way you need that much traction on concrete. I'm happy to say I only looked at my phone twice today. Since writing this poem, that's become a lie, so I'm really sorry about that. I'm happy to say I left it in my bag for a full 16 hours. 1 week, no word. That's just a millennial problem. Like how we wolf down avocado toast instead of buying houses. Oh, fuck, you already made that joke to me. Hiking shoes dude can't figure out his amp. Oh, I looked at my phone again. Flies swarm my tropical fruit. I've run out of spliff. Aladdin pants are so fucking easy to remove. I know I told you it was totally fine, but I might be a little jealous too. Thank you. This next one is called Stoop Catullus, and it's for my friend Kit Schluter, who lives in Mexico City and is an amazing poet. I dedicated it to him because he called me the modern Catullus. Sorry, I don't mean to brag, but... Stoop Catullus. I wrote this as advice for my friend, and now I realize I need it myself. I spent approximately 5 hours telling you what to do. And listen, lady, it does not feel good to see little crystal drops spill out from your eyes over lack of reply. We all go through it. There's no more petrifying thought than, do you love me? Do you love me? Oh, wait, I'm full of guano. There is something worse. It's, will you still love me when? And I get that, girl, but you gotta dry your eyes when it comes to guys. Listen to your mother, Nicki Minaj. Let them be snotty. Your nose is for bigger things like finding gas leaks or sniffing out the excrement turds like to leave on our doorstep. On the stoop, where Andrea and I drank beers and watched a group of 4 cats organize itself into twosomes for fucking, then regroup and split a different way. Who do they think they are? Some kind of commune? Feels like everyone around me is ethically non-monogo these days. Oh yeah, I also have to dedicate that to Kit because he came up with the term ethically non-monogo, and I just think it's so good. Like, I want to use it all the time. Okay. Oh yeah, this poem Ashley actually published, so I want to read it in her honor. And it's a true story. Not all my poems are true stories, but this one is. It's called A List of Things Men Have Asked Me to Do in Order to Secure Their Affections. Get a tattoo. Don't get a tattoo. Delete all your dating apps. Write less. Spend more time with me. Write for more reputable publications. Do more yoga. Dress sexier. Dress less sexy. Dress a little more like the girl next door. Wear less black. Wear more black. Wear more makeup. Wear less makeup. Turn that frown upside down. Speak a little less. Speak more quietly. Text less. Sext more. Send nudes. Be healthier. Be less healthy. Stay out late. Get up early. Speed up. Slow down. Dance for me. Dance with me. Dance on me. Choose a nickname. Don't share it. Choose a safe word. Be a bad girl. You're a good girl, aren't you? You like that, don't you? Say yes. See, none of you all know what you want, I'm just saying. Okay, this is called Miracles. I have so much contempt for men, it's a miracle I still want to fuck them. Okay. Thank you. That one is a true story as well. This one is called Interdependence. I'm no doctor, but it seems ever since you came into my life, I can't stop getting sick. It's July 4th. All the evils of America are pouring out of my nose. Allergies are the way of patriarchy's... Oh, fuck, I fucked that up. Sorry, I promised myself I wouldn't drink too much wine before I got up here, but Ashley put me last, so what does she expect me to do? I'm going to start again. I never normally do this, but... Interdependence. I'm no doctor, but it seems ever since you came into my life, I can't stop getting sick. It's July 4th. All the evils of America are pouring out of my nose. Allergies are the patriarchy's way of keeping slutty women down. It's hard to feel sexy when you're all snotty. I thought I was going to eat barbecue today, but instead you stole that away too. Hate to burst your bubble, but I'm not the type to ring doorbells or buzz, buzz. I won't tell you how I feel unless you rip it out of me. I don't wear sundresses or low-waist jeans or sparkly belts. We come down harder on women who are just trying to cope. No one is spreading the radical imagination far enough anymore. Ariana suggested making a video of men sucking thick shakes through straws. Watch them struggle to keep it all in their mouths. Watch it pour down their chins in a steady, creamy stream. Watch them supplicate themselves. Watch them say, I get it now. Watch them beg to shower it off. I lie to myself about how little I care all the time. I lie to myself about whose numbers I've blocked because I never know when I'll be that horny again or that lonely. Your wife is much prettier than me and much younger, but I still have your number. I need an arsenal. I want to eat tortas until I burst. I want to scratch every itch until all my skin falls off. I want to be important but fade to dust. I don't want to be rich. I don't want anyone to be. I just want to have enough paper so I can live free from influence. I don't need a daddy. I just want one. Being your own daddy, it's kind of hard work. Thank you. You can call me daddy, by the way. It's one of my preferred pronouns. Okay, this is called I'm Not Allowed to Like a Man. It's my last one. Again, it's advice. I think I need a lot of advice. Oh yeah, and by the way, I just noticed today that everyone in Montreal is really fucking hot. Yeah. Like what? Right? I was like, I mean, I'm from New York, and everyone's like, everyone in New York is hot, and I'm like, no. No. Everyone in Montreal is really hot. The present company included. Okay. I'm not allowed to like a man. I'm not allowed to like a man. It goes against my politics. I'm not allowed to like a man. It is in complete violation of my brand. I'm not allowed to like a man because I just started writing every day and I do not have time to wake up, get dick down, and then do my free write. I'm not allowed to like a man because men pretend to be likable, then they hurt you. I'm not allowed to like a man because I've spent the last few years telling all my friends men are shit. I'm not allowed to like a man because a man is just a syringe of pain waiting to be released into your bloodstream. I'm not allowed to like a man because despite the presence of terrible female oligarchs throughout history, the majority have been men, let's be real. I'm not allowed to like a man because all the men on the internet who love me because I hate men. I'm not allowed to like a man because my mum killed herself over one. I'm not allowed to like a man because liking a man makes me do shit like fuck Raw or stay up way too late. I'm not allowed to like a man because men cost money. I'm not allowed to like a man because the scars on my back still haven't healed and my fave sex position is doggy. I'm not allowed to like a man because men make me fear the future. I'm not allowed to like a man because my favorite poem I've ever written says, I have so much contempt for men, it's a miracle I still want to fuck them. I am not allowed to like a man, especially not an artist who has all the same books as me on his fucking shelf. Like, what kind of sorcery? Thank you.
Okay, that's it. That's all, Leona. That's for you. Thanks for coming out. Have one more drink, and then we got to get out of here. Please remember to leave donations at the door. I love you all. Let's be good to each other and to ourselves. Good night.
I'm the black Christian Grey. I got 50 shades of beige, 50 different bitches. Chill! One shield. On my ride, me and my dogs headed to the sky. Cloud nine calling me, couple bad bitches too. I got mine on me, listening to digits, ooh. Feet up, baby girl, let's live. PJ man, baby, let's go to live. To rest from shoes, my Jimmy shoes, my bitch Chanel. Hit it fool, I got Chanel on my socks, ayy. Silky Versace, her crotch, ayy. I came from pillar to post, ice in my back on froze. Penthouse, whole Chicago. That my second home. I'm in Atlanta, though. I'm trying to see tomorrow. Let's fly away. On time ain't late. I was being crazy. I know you right. But I'm tired of trying right. No matter what, you gotta stay by my side. Right around, you better ride or die. Till infinity, till infinity, till infinity, till infinity. Right, till infinity. I'm about to buy you your own right. I don't need you involved in homicides. That could be when test you think you right. I'm about to put this whole outside. Horses made my 3-wheels slide. And it's gang till I die. Call me with Rico. Gang niggas, call me with Rico. Hold on. Money is the reason I arrive. Bitch, I keep a knife like Michael Myers. I'm about to stab 30 times like porcupines. And I got rainbow diamonds on like Michael Myers. Oh, yeah. I know you right. But I'm tired of trying right. No matter what, you gotta stay by my side. Right around, you better ride or die. Till infinity, till infinity, till infinity, till infinity. Right, till infinity. Drain City air. Rich nigga put that ace of spade in the air. Back a couple bitches, yeah, we play here. She hit up and pop it and them sprayed everywhere. And we be so sad. I love her so you know I got a flossing. I'm not a dentist, but a nigga flossing. I'm fresh to death, they say I should be coughing. I'm about to turn it up. She wanna party with a real nigga. She wanna party with a real nigga. Shawty wanna party with a real nigga. She wanna party with a real nigga. She wanna party. She wanna party. She wanna party. She wanna party. Twist it like a 2C roll. Like a movie, play your fucking role. Can't believe my circle small like Cheerio. Hate to say it, but it's ain't another bankroll. She tryna pop it off of me. Lil' shawty tryna drop it off of me. But I see right through her body that she just want her money, she not vibing. And if you look at shit, this what I'm popping. I left you with a brick battery rocket. Pop the gun, now her heart is in my pocket. Her heart beat my racing, but we gotta pace it. See it on my face, that pussy wet like she fresh out the licking. I milk this place, I beat the case, crank up my generator. I got some X, I got some serve, I'm smoking turtle tanking. And we be so sad. I love her so you know I got a flossing. I'm not a dentist, but a nigga flossing. I'm fresh to death, they say I should be coughing. I'm about to turn it up. She wanna party with a real nigga. She wanna burn it up. She wanna party with a real nigga. Shawty wanna party with a real nigga. She wanna party with a real nigga. She wanna party. She wanna party. She wanna party. Shawty wanna party. She wanna party. I wanna know if you gon' roll with me. I'm trying to see if you gon' stroll with me. Jeffrey trying to roll. Yeah. You should try living with a gangster. Stay down with me if I'm banged up. I'ma do or die with you no matter what. No matter what. Everything got to please me. Darling, I'm hungry, I won't eat that pussy. From you, her weight could never push me. Darling, I want you for real. And if you feel like I wasted your time, I reimburse. Now I don't mind putting a little interest on it. Okay, about you, I'm ready to kill. I'ma come back on it, appeal. Look at my gig, I reimburse. And I'm mind putting a little interest on it. Hey, Drain City, rich nigga put that ass of spade in the air. Smack a couple bitches, yeah, we play here. Well, drink it up and pop it, never spray it everywhere. Y'all, and we be so sad. I love her, so you know I got a flossing. I'm not a dentist, but a nigga flossing. I'm fresh to death, they say I should be coughing. I'm about to turn it up. She wanna party with a real. She wanna burn it up. She wanna party with a real nigga. Try to party with a real nigga. She wanna party with a real nigga. She wanna party. She wanna party. She wanna party. Shawty wanna party. She wanna party. Dropped out of school and bought myself a chain. I must have taught myself a million things. I'm out the trap, I can sell anything. I wish I would allow myself to hear that soul dream. I pray my daughter never ever experience no dream. I told her Colgate, baby, gotta keep your teeth straight. Yeah. Bayo flexing, extensive. Brand new Rari, Smith & Wesson. Make myself a boss, want my credit. Speaking of credit, pay off owe me, I got credit. V12, y'all ain't ready at all. Trapping beats, I'm like, hurry up and buy. Extra Draco for my pops, cause it's birthday 4th of July. I'm so busy, make me feel like I'm in and out my kids' life. I'm the father of 6 babies. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, new coupe, new shoes. New coupe, brand new shoes. Red bottom, kicking shit, I'm flossing on you. Camel toe, big, I see the print inside the suit. Rose go my girl up, no minute, 92. Fuck them by the 2 and let them travel with a phone. All this fucking money, I'm used to shit, not my boo. I'm living right and ain't ever read a bull. Chanel vintage, put it on them boots. The way I whip that body, charging me with cruelty. Yeah, don't try to stop me, don't you try to knock me. You see me, got these records in the back. You gotta forgive my heart, I don't mean it's nothing like that. I mean to do it. Red bottles, come at big yellow, got the space. I ain't playing big, I'm on head problem, got the space. $2,000 for the newest snake collar, snake. Venezuela, head dollar, clean, raw clean, ball mans, let's get it, vintage swag, new Celine's, my glasses, hands dirty, watch me turn them clean, let's shot it hot, magic, kerosene, base, I'ma kill by any means, get back, fade, the sound jeans, not your, I spray her face with my jeans, I'ma turn on my team, new condones, I'm team, I turn into some things, CP match my jeans, Converse is my queen, patted for my queen, get me for these coins, master from the swing, Project Living, I'm gonna go like Bean, new back with no strings, I put ice in my cup, in no pool, no chlorine. Dropped out of school and bought myself a chain. I must have taught myself a million things. I'm out the trap, I can sell anything. I wish I would allow myself to hear that soul dream. I pray my daughter never ever experience no dream. I told her Colgate, baby, gotta keep your teeth straight. New coupe, new shoes. Red bottom, kicking shit, I'm flossing on you. Camel toe, big, I see the print inside. who you are. They don't know who you are. From radios, I steer a foreign car hole. Shouting mine, Vanessa right out of barcode. She get clean like when Dex when she want to. She'll read a nigga text when she want to. No text up on your shirt, she never want to. How about the Benz cool? Fuck me, suck me, L-O-V-E. Do you love me? In the tubby, popping bubbly, smoking musty. I love me. La 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 love me. Fall deep in love, love, love with me. Baby girl, come suck me and fuck me. Drinking bubbly, we get thuggish and rugged. Tell them who you are. Do you know who we are? These women know who we are. Plenty Benjamin on me and my squad. When you a prince, nigga, your doors are jar. Acting like you don't know who we are, but you do. How do you know who she was? Twerking, baby, real slow mo, yeah. Slow mo, yeah. Lick your body while I give you a massage. Ain't talking Nikki, I'm about to have a menage. Twat on my face all day. Hold up, got a K, about to spray. Hold up, bust in her hair, Milky Way. Hold up, kick shit, Johnny Cage. Hold up, she the bomb like a damn grenade. Hold up, night skate, intake, turned out of state, in state, burnt. Bitch, stop, hey, you need lessons, watch, babe. You thinking I'm broke, you need to awake. 100 racks, 3 a week. Say no, the freaks, I count it like geeks. It's mounted with T's. I ain't gotta remind these hoes, they know who we are. Do you know who we are? These women know who we are. Plenty Benjamin on me and my squad. When you a prince, nigga, your doors are jar. Acting like you don't know who we are, but you do. How do you know who she was? Twerking, baby, real slow movie. Money green like camouflage. STD, I'm taking over your ward. Home girl, fine body, smooth and all. Plan on having more kids than God. I turned up her closet, now she look like a ball. Now my drinks are clean, I fill them up with that oil. But my self-esteem and now I think I'm a dog. Let me in the door or else I come through the walls. I haven't lied in days for you. Treating myself like I got AIDS for you. I ain't fucking that and leave the girl like I got AIDS for you. I got 9 lives I blaze for you. I sit it down in days for you. Shout a pubic shave and I hate you too. Rose gold Rolex, who y'all? They don't know who you are. From radios, I steer a foreign car hole. Shouting mine, Vanessa right out of barcode. She get clean like when Dex when she want to. She'll read a nigga text when she want to. No text up on your shirt, she never want to. How about the Benz cool? Fuck me, suck me, L-O-V-E. Do you love me? In the tubby, popping bubbly, smoking musty. I love me. La 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 love me. Fall deep in love, love, love with me. Baby girl, come suck me and fuck me. Drinking bubbly, we get thuggish and rugged. Shining hard, go we back up. Rose gold from your neck up. You know the longest not trying to check us. Papa is feel like you Malcolm.
I'm in a relationship with all my bitches, yeah. I need to cut some of them off, I need her. I got some bad things I want her to myself. Gotta take the time to cut them off, I need her. I know how to make the girl go crazy. When you treat her like your number one baby. Put my bitches on yachts, we don't do jet skis. Put your ice on rocks, they need to help me. No baby, your collection won't stand for it. You know you're in a relationship with all us. I get a few texts out of day saying it's all yours. I got a few states on speed dial like good drugs.
Get in your bag, yeah, get in your bag, Hold a new perks for bread, come to the street, new jazz. Turbo bitch about to drag. Nigga had M's for ass. Got a brand new bitch, who that? Rock the flood AP all black.
White toes give me a 10. Cocaine kill it 10. All the bitch won't do shine. All of my pick which kind. I made it with starter. You went from a down to a quarter. I Chico the project. I live in that loud on apartment. Yeah.
No bill to start it. I'm ready to spoil it. She sucking my dick. I'm hiding in the closet.
I'm hiding in the room. 3 bill in the room. You get silver spoon. I bought you some booze.
Shining hard, go we back up. Rose gold from your neck up. You know you're longest stop trying to check us. Papa hits feel like a Malcolm.
I'm in a relationship with all my bitches, yeah. I need to cut some of them off, I need help. I got some bad things I want to myself. Gotta take the time to cut them off, I need help. I know what to make the girl go crazy. When you treat her like your number one baby. Put my bitches on yachts, we don't do jet skis. Put your ice on rocks, they need to help me. I don't do jet skis, give me the yacht fees. I made you queen status, check out my lean status. I'm in a relationship with all my bitches, yeah. I put my dick inside her mouth before she left,
Yeah, I built relationships with all my bitches, yeah. I put my dick right in her mouth before she asked. I got your bitch in a backpack. I paid extra for the crib, got a key shit.
I paid extra for the crib, it got a game room. Got a penthouse in the back, it ain't my main room. Tamika, Joe, and Porsche kept it beside me. That's the only reason I let them fly private.
Shining hard, go your back up. Wrong, from your neck up. You know the longest stop trying to check us. Papa hits feel like a Malcolm.
I'm in a relationship with all my bitches, yeah. I need to cut some of them off, I need help. I got some bad things I want to myself. Gotta take the time to cut them off, I need help. I know how to make the girl go crazy. When you treat her like your number one baby. Put my bitches on yachts, we don't do jet skis. Put your ice on rocks, they need to help me. Put my bitches on yachts, we don't do jet skis. Put your ice on rocks.
So what's up with all that goddamn tough talk you had earlier on the phone? You know what I'm saying? When you said you was gonna goddamn do this and that to me when you saw me. Freaky deaky. Wow, that is. So what's up with all that goddamn tough talk? Oh, I thought so. You gotta have a little comfort, you know what I'm saying?
You said you gon' fuck me to death when you see me, you said that. You said that. You said you gon' do me the worst. I remember you right when you said that. You said you gon' kiss from my neck to my chest to my navel, then digging nuts. We talked about everything, now you know that we got us from making up. I lick on that puss on my pill and I make her stand up like some bunny hills. I bite on that butt and I suck on her toes and her soul go out of here. She look at him like he gon' kill and I turn around her light like the battlefield. Let's get freaky, dick around here. Sit down, ooh, ooh, ooh. Sit down, ooh, ooh. I want you to sit down, ooh, ooh. I want you to sit down, Jeffrey, ooh, ooh. I got the door unlocked, and I know right now she'd rather have my dick than a watch. And I'm not right about everything, but I got a strong feeling she'll take me a charge and run into the narcs. And I'm seeing all y'all emotions, came a long way from the roaches. I ain't rather burn, get the rolling. I ain't never needed nothing broken. All for a pocket macaroni. Rose gold, AB like a token. Bought the bitch a million, now she cozy. Ready to go to jail, I ain't told it. I get excited when I see you. I'd rather freeze up and get shot when I see you. All day dreaming, I'm steady just dropping, I'm trying to real you. You a cool one, you a real one. Let's go to Africa to the pilgrim. You said you gon' fuck me to death when you see me, you said that. You said that. You said you gon' do me the worst, I remember you right when you said that. You said you gon' kiss from my neck to my chest to my navel and digging nuts. We talked about everything, now you know that we got us from making up. I lick on that puss on her pill and I make her stand up like some bunny hills. I bite on her butt and I suck on her toes and her soul go out of here. She look at him like he gon' kill and I turn around her light like the battlefield. Let's get freaky, dick around here. Sit down, ooh, ooh, ooh. Sit down, ooh, ooh. I want you to sit down, ooh, ooh. I want you to sit down, ooh, ooh. Yeah, ooh. Let's make our last song. She get the last go. I got some batteries, yeah. I want the last dose. I got a good cash flow, but I don't want the fast dough. Your daughter got 50 rich. I can't read out the rat hole. I smoke a whole leaf. I'm drinking cold in it. I want some head in it. I don't want no teeth.
a golf ball. My two homies bed up on me. I make a squirt on the couch, in a private party, only bros here. Hey, we pay for the cows, no beer. Hey, every diamond on me, crystal clear. Money on me, baby, take it off of me. Cat scan, white stuff on my jeans. Hit it from the back, loosen up my spleen. Say you mine, I'ma take it off and wrong, no. You said you gon' fuck me to death when you see me, you said that, you said that. You said you gon' do me the worst, I remember you right when you said that. You said you gon' kiss from my neck to my chest to my navel, then digging nuts. We talked about everything, now you know that we got us from making up. I lick on that puss, I'm appealing, I make her stand up like some bunny hills. I bite on the butt and I suck on her toes and her soul go out of here. She look at him like he gon' kill and I turn around the light like the battlefield. Let's get freaky around here. Sit down, ooh, ooh, ooh. Sit down, ooh, ooh. I want you to sit down, ooh, ooh. I want you to sit down, ooh, ooh, ooh. Don't make him mad, he'll put a savage on his savage chest. Don't make him mad, he'll put a savage on his savage chest. You made him mad, he put you right back on the show. You made him mad, he put you right back where you start. Ain't got no money spent. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, I suck on my fingers. Whoa, fuck you, dumb. Pussy ass niggas. I'm off a jet. I'm off a jet. I'm off a jet. I'm off a scrap. I'm off a jet. I'm off a jet. Hold on. Shot that boy so many times he caught on fire. Every single night I'm spitting fire. Trying to count my profit, baby, watch her. I'm tired of when I need 2 or 3 songs. I need 3 songs. Girl, give me 3 songs. 3 push your head up and be strong. Every city leave, I need no. Ashes in the bill, I'm dead wrong. With it room in my Japanese home. Rockin' gas in my Japanese drawers. My friend signed my Japanese wall. Vintage clothes, they kinda cost. I think you lost, baby girl, I think you lost. Don't make him mad, he'll put a savage on his savage chick. Don't make him mad, he'll put a savage on his savage chick. You made him mad, he put you right back on the show. You made him mad, he put you right back where you start. Ain't got no more wristbands, but I got banging on me. Ain't got no more wristbands, but I got banging on me. I'm in love with my clan, I take they name on me. You can't trick me like I got the answers tatted on me. Ain't got no scratches on me. I got a ratchet hoe, and I got that ratchet on me. My life like dominoes, I can't make mistakes, little homie. Yeah. I ain't got no scratches nowhere. I got good skin like a rubber girl. You can come and chill with me. Let's drink a pint of codeine. Bless when she on search, she a little easy. Greasy, beautiful, younger girls with me. Enjoy the wealth until you're gone. You a spirit up, boy, you're strong. Wearing the seatbelt just cause my son. I put a puddle on the neck of my son. I got some crack, I got some reed in my son. I want some velvet on my knee back in the morning. I got it in, still ain't traded in I got like 20 cars, baby pick one. Don't make him mad, he'll put a savage on his savage chick. Don't make him mad, he'll put a savage on his savage chick. You made him mad, he put you right back on the show. You made him mad, he put you right back where you start. Ain't got no more wristbands, but I got banging on me. Ain't got no more wristbands, but I got banging on me. I'm in love with my clan, I take they name on me. You can't trick me like I got the answers tatted on me. Ain't got no scratches on me. I blood, hurt on my boots. You can't go, that bitch swoop. How dare you, I kick the ruler. My chains, I'm with the ruler. That's foreign, they know school. We killing, ain't trying to sue you. Cut a long way from Raymond News. 2017 Porsches. I
had to put a side bitch on him. You made me mad, he put you right back on him. You made me mad, he put you right back where you started. Ain't got no money. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, I struggle my fingers. Fuck you, dog. Pussy ass niggas. I'm off a jet. I'm off a jet. I'm off a jet. I'm off a strap. I'm off a jet. I'm off a jet. Hold on. Pussy ass niggas.
Hey, yo, nephew. I think it's time to get some of that real sticky, icky in the motherfucking air. But in the back, you dig?
I wanna get higher. About to call my go-to guy, gotta know backwoods fly, I'm about to break one down with my supplies, Roll up some gas, I'm not talking a car. Shout the shit bad. Fuck round, take it to the star. Brand new dash, I got brand new cash. Brand new cheese, got her brand new ass. Get a passport. About to drink a whole lot of syrup. But the Billy go missing, standing the curve. Watch the city go missing, the young nigga ran out with look at the birds. Fuck you, y'all, get ran off on me. Call your handcuffs, letting you cop that copy. In the back of the cab, this house like it did from the front seat. Did the aftermath, like I got 50 cent on it. Got quick steady, trap spots like a store. Nigga got a couple choppers on the floor. Got a couple choppers on the floor. Watch that door. Watch that door. Watch that door. Gotta watch that door. Yeah. Watch that door. Split, I roll up 2.5. Happy 420, roll up 2.5. Way too strong, don't remember these guys. Hold up so high on the wrist, my life ain't even trying to go to these guys. Hold up, stroll up. I want the whole cut. I make a slut. I eat it cold cut. Hair getting longer, we getting stronger. Body strong arm her, body gon' bone her. She got a camel toe, I call her Marlboro. I take you from the start, take you tomorrow. She didn't get a chance to get my number. She missed out on mama, she missed out on me and my mama. Yeah. I wanna get higher. I can call my go-to guy. Gotta know backwoods fly. I'm about to break one down with my supplies. Roll up some gas, I'm not talking a car. Shout the shit bad. Fuck round, take it to the star. Brand new dash, I got brand new cash. Brand new cheese, got her brand new ass.
Want a lot of old money. Everybody wants something from me. Gotta keep my hands on the steering wheel, cause I foot the bill and I shoot the kill and I slide around and that Snoop the bill and my gas tank is on full. Stack goods, then backwoods, we cock back and we pull. Bubblegum, cookies, OG and KK. We like Craig and Day Day. Who gives a fuck what they say? I be out here getting it, gotta get it, cause I got it on. I'm the same nigga that you bitch niggas plotted on. It ain't as easy as I make it look. See what I'm saying? I ain't playing, nigga, take a look. We gon' that G shit, nigga, we lit and I'm seasick for real. For the fun, what it does, let's get this motherfucking money, cuz I mean that new money, that blue money with new faces, the new cases, the new bases, and new aces. Florianopolis, ain't no stopping us. Power preaches patience, balling in two places, exchanging smoke faces.
Counting money on a pigeon, my bitch ass. Going fast, getting tonsils on the airway. Smoking on that OG. I flooded my AP, got me a rollie. I got a bad bitch and I call her dopey. And her head dope. And she sucked me out the perky, keep her hands on screen. I don't fuck with vapors, but I'm high. Got a bad bitch, I know she buy.
I wanna get higher. I can call my go-to guy. Gotta know backwoods fly. I'm about to break one down with my supplies. Roll up some gas, I'm not talking a car. Shout the shit bad. Fuck round, take it to the star. Brand new dash, I got brand new cash. Brand new cheese, got her brand new ass.
See, man, a lot of you niggas think y'all can smoke with us, but this shit is a marathon, man. This ain't no motherfucking 100-yard dash. Step back. You ain't on here. Thug a thug. Doggy dog. Left field, we on. Step back.
Pussy in the rain. I'ma make sure lil' mama feel it. Every eyeball that look at me, she wanna kill it. We make love, then it had to kill it. I don't wanna buy your love, I wanna feel it. Get that bitch up from the ground, never won't get that bitch down. Yeah, you know that the dick ain't no clown, you know that they make you make sounds. Yeah, I fuck that bitch good, I don't tease her. Nigga, that why she not leaving. And you know that I smoke on that kush, no colleague for. And I do it for my people. Yeah, I never met a girl like you. I love every single girl about you. You know I'ma smoke the whole world about you. Put on my suit, go get my boots, I go to jail back. Let's go. You know who you will, little baby, stop playing, darling. You know who you will, you know who you will. Man, I'm so for real, I caught you a cool baby, yeah, for sure for real. Man, I'm so for real, these niggas be talking, we bustin' so for real. I'm so geeked up on your love and I don't need no mileage, so for real. Behind closed doors, they get dressed. Pussy way I don't worry red. Yeah, I am the truth, so don't ask. Yeah, I should have been in the class. Yeah, I only come on my baby, when you say that. That's your man, you better hold him now. She held my little back, she was with it. And she was probably waiting for me. Now that I'm popular, I'ma still be the homie. I swear to God, she wanna feel it. When I do wrong, babe, make me feel it. I only get it when I feel it. Yeah. Make me feel it, make me feel it, make me feel it, make me feel it. Oh, I won't feel it, I won't feel it, I won't feel it, I won't feel it. Baby, I'll give you hit, give me six, coming back. I'm a pill, I'm locked down, all milk, horseshoe, truly. I'm never, I hop in your car and I smash it, I might ain't gon' roll this, yeah, I'm Trinidad. They look like they don't wanna cook, but they at. I'm going up purple, that purple, yeah, hat. Man, I think I'm tough, you look tough, so let's clash. Let's clash, hey, ready, I'm going steady. Hop up with Keisha, not the one from Bali. I wanna fuck ain't no tough, and that's it. I want that cat like a lip. Let's go to Germany, no ship. She don't need no hand, I'm a hip. Cheap bird to keep her, so I kill. Watch me tell her. That's your man, you better hold him now. She don't need no hand, I'm a hip. Cheap bird to keep her, so I kill. Watch me tell her. She held my little back, she was with it. And she was popular way before me. Now that I'm popular, I'ma still be the homie. I swear to God, she wanna feel it. When I do wrong, babe, make me feel it. I only get it when I feel it. Yeah. I swear to God, she wanna feel it. When I do wrong, babe, make me feel it. I only get it when I feel it. Yeah. I only get it when I feel it.
Well, this one, well, this one, well, this is what. Who you loyal to? Me, us. Who you trust the most? Me, us. Who you wanna forgive and not me, us. Who you wanna take on your flight? Me, us. You the one that said you were doing it, and you said you were doing it, you doing it. say that what you doing, you doing. You told me that what was you doing, you doing. What would you do if your brother left you? What would you do? If them niggas came for you, you better pursue. I just spent 10 racks on a dog from Germany, no Purdue. Oops, I've been through pre-juris and on AC. I wanna know, tell me the baby, I wanna know. I got a show, fuck my show, do my show. I got no notes, I want Metro, he got some more. I don't gotta talk, look at my jewelry, he can say more. Yeah. You smoke that cushion, man, I'm so good at it, I want some cookies. Fuck on your daughter, fuck on my brother, now she gon' dish it. I got them rats, I was just buying, he was just looking. I bought the diamonds, and she just smiling, she thinks she took it. But these brothers over my band. I'm smoking powwow in Japan. Blacker the berry, drink my cream. Bet you dig it, I was just saying. I'm smoking powwow in Japan. Blacker the berry, drink my cream. Bet you dig it, I was just saying. This one, this one. Out riding on a bike on a very late night. She give me chills, I'm for real. Hey, I'm the one with soul, and I know your role. A real one for sure. She give me chills. I won't feel your coat, I won't feel like both. Oh, no, no. Oh, yeah, yeah, no. Oh, yeah, yeah, oh, yeah, yeah. Look at that stare right now, that stare right now. That's that right now. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 If I stand I'll walk down the street next to my bike. Child on the front, child on the bike, like we living oversized. I had a dream, these niggas stood over me. I had a bad bitch and she ate it off the cake. Drunk off your loving, I just stood by the sink. Look in these eyes, they the sky shoot me. I just pop like rubber bands on it. Her booty flat like LA, I just land on it. Yeah, top notch, brand on it. Yeah, baby, tell me where we staying. Her booty big as a sedan. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Look at that stare right now. That stare right now. That stare right now. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 Now I be cruising to the talk shit, so pat it to pay. Yeah. Me that the dim ain't nothing to do with it. Yeah. I won't hear that ain't do with it. I remember you popped your first bottle. I remember I had my first toddler. Nothing changed, I remember I had my third toddler. Y'all wonder she was my third partner. Free little phone, he got a erg doctor. I ran off on some of my curse doctors. Dropped them racks right on her like a girl got them. I'm just in it, baby, this your world, yeah, yeah. And if you like them, then I love them, they deserve partners. You left her back for me to see. You left her back and know you hurt me. I only helped you pack your bag because you hurt me. Do it when you gone on like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Look at that stare right now. That stare right now. That stare right now. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 Fuck
pipe, you ain't take it down, yeah. Mocha Pfeiffer, it's going down, yeah. But you know that it's going down. They ticket, they hold me down. And I'm so in love with the town. Much respect when you come around. Out riding on a bike on a very late night. She give me chills, I'm for real. Out riding on a bike on a very late night. She give me chills, I'm for real. We got London on the track. Please tell them they wanna be me. Somebody tell them they wanna be me. Tell them mama she wanna be me. I put the wanna be. I try to tell them they wanna be me. Nigga, I tell them they wanna be me. Tell them nigga. Hey. Random bands up, bitch, I'm in, I'm getting buck. Clean a bitch face with the nut, fuck a buck. Hey, I'm thug a savage, thug a savage, thug a savage. I'm a savage, I'm a fuck out like a savage. She like my business and she falling down my steps. Then she chase a nigga down like a rabbit. Flooded with carrots. I got some motherfucking carrots. I'm a car. I pay 150 for the carrots and my chains and my rings. I just done change up my eyes with that thing. No comparing your pain, I got my eyes from the ain't. Even if you a lame, you fool if you stay in lane. You can feel my pain and I don't need no T-pain. You got so much pain that you don't need no T-pain. Suck pain, ain't gon' play with no roommate. I'm gon' bust your brain, but it's ass right out of state. I'ma pull up, fight a bunch of land and take your pain. I'ma pull up on your point of being ready to pay. I'ma pull up trying to go for racks and take the ring. I can't find a place upon your children down the sink. Loud, call. Bitch, I'm a motherfucking savage. I'm a savage, I'm a savage. I'm a motherfucking savage. She see them niggas blink, I'm gonna fuck me, then she fuck a like a carrot. My mace is orange like a carrot. Away, my wheels taller than the Ferris. Away, came from carrots. I'ma show her love and she gon' fuck me like a king. I'ma fuck a friend that said she fuck me in her dream. I'ma make a nut and yes I want that nut on me. I'ma fuck them both and yes they want that nut on me. Let that bitch on Twitter, man, I'm back to D.I. I'ma cut the bitches, yeah, she fucking on my cheek. I'ma cut the mama, she gon' fuck me in my teeth. I'ma cut you both and they gon' I'ma cut you bitches sick. Bitch, you want a fucking nigga, for real. Bitch, you want a fucking nigga, for real. I ain't gonna stop him, fucking mama, fucking forever. I ain't gonna stop, I'ma give her, throwing up all the children. I'ma catch you, bitch, spray a bitch with the Beretta. I'ma fuck on the sister, she got a blue bad like Stella. Oh my god. Oh god. Carrots in my watches, in my jewelry, in my check. Carrots on my boss of 12, on the bitch, my thing. Going in their mouth and then we coming out the south. I'ma fuck the bitch and then the nut and then the kick. I'ma cut the bitch and she gon' fuck me in the kitchen. I said, you don't wanna walk a mile in my jeans.
Oh no, no. I get that green asparagus, bust it down with the chicken. We gon' shop it all day. Whatever, won't you cop it all day? Need like 40 more credentials for the ladies. All that hatred, got them sitting outside for ages. 90s, baby, feel like I been getting since the 80s. Make sure everybody flossing, everybody starts to see. My hue blow blue when I'm making plays on Slauson. Hey, I'm making big old plays, stacking that Frito-Lay just for my baby. Then that racks on racks on racks on going crazy. Flipping these pat, bust it down by Will Me Daisy. Bust it down good, then get a shake to a J. Now 10 dollars, we don't play, yeah. I didn't write this song, I just went read it. I dropped the bed off, it came back raising. She down with me, gotta go and face it. She saw me to sleep, I can't replace it. Creeping that stuff, never get old of me. Use me for stepping stones, just know you owe me. Everything quality, me ain't getting no leak. I fuck around, smoke your partner, but I own you little whole street. Pussy never not wet, never got you upset. Patty cake when that check hit, for the family's Russian roulettes. On a private jet counting digits, red light, I'm drinking red. Take care of everybody around me and live my life rich. And I never forget to make sure everybody flossing, everybody starts to see. My hue blow blue when I'm making plays on Slauson. Hey, I'm making big old plays, stacking that Frito-Lay just for my baby. I did everything for y'all to bow. Tell you I risked it all just to see a smile on y'all. I risked my future goals for all y'all. I risked my life, she told me take that condom off and go raw. She perfect in my eyes, she know when I act like this girl version of me. Managing work for me, she genius, she my idol, believe y'all. Ain't I need any sneakers, she gon' be bad. Home on pitch from that bitch, she smoke a cigarette. I got roses for my daughter, don't put it back. Streaming resin, Peter my pot off a whole neck. Oh God. Pussy never not wet, never got you upset. Patty cake when that check hit, for the family's Russian roulettes. On a private jet counting digits, red light, I'm drinking red. Take care of everybody around me and live my life rich. And I never forget to make sure everybody flossing, everybody starts to see. My hue blow blue when I'm making plays on Slauson. Hey, I'm making big old plays, stacking that Frito-Lay just for my baby. To the light, you got me stopping at the green light. I said she good, I'm off of being right, and I know you want the savage to give you a ring right. Sex and all drugs, oh yeah, yeah. Leave a little money on the counter. You remind me of everybody too younger, making my masturbate into your news, yeah, yeah. Take care. Rafe umbrella for the whole gen club when I throw my cheddar. She got shutting down, man, bang. I'm gonna let her. Every day I say free act, lifetime robber, do it for fellas. I don't want nobody to know me. Get on my dick when she rolling me. I fuck her hard like she on me. Put it in deep, now she moaning. My price is cheaper than Dollar Tree. I master my like white colors be. Open your mouth like you horny. Double cup featuring Barney. bark in. I'ma take all like a Martian. Fuck her and leaving my mark in. Bust on that hoe, just mark in. Look at these niggas, they mark us. Ready for war like a Spartan. You can't block me like a Martian. My bro gotta sound like a marker. Good girl with a missing tail light. You got me stopping at the green light. I said she good, I'm off a beam right. And I know you on the savage to give you a ring right. Take care. Sex and all drugs. Oh yeah, yeah. Leave a little money on the counter. You remind me of everybody too younger. Making my masturbate into your news, yeah, yeah. Take care. Take care, alright. Yeah, G-Fire, right by. Yeah, I'm gonna sleep with you at night. Yeah. Bill Gates on your stepson. I'm so proud to share your jeans on your backbone. Thank you, God, 2017, new G-Wagon. I play ring, red, and rosy with my stepson. Up on purple bullshit, nigga ain't break no bullshit. Temper attack, no ghost. All white boy like lotion. Everybody change my motion. AP rollers and patties. Broke niggas stop that madness. And you hoes need to stop that strapping. Living 2 minutes for bandit. Trip on these hoes, make them panic. I did them wrong and I meant it. New Derrick Rose and I'm winning. I'm about this football relentless. I'm trying to put my nut in your rim. I'm trying to put my butt in some skinners. I'm trying to take my bitch with me. Hood girls missing to the light. You got me stopping at the green light. I said she good, I'm off the beam right. And I know you on the savage to give you a ring right. Take care. What up? I'm trying to put my dick inside of your pants. I tell you shit. I was rolling down, right there rolling down, smoking bad fools, you know the bad. I was getting protected by my savages. Yellow school buses, that's a zany. Causing me to sleep at night, playing it. Yeah, I got some jobs all day, roll like a jar all day. I be on Mars all day, home with the stars all day. Boss all day, roll up the raw all day. Babysit your dog all day, about to watch you jog all day. Like family don't matter. What's poppin', what's the deal? 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 Back a bad bitch, I got a foreign son. Tummy gun, found a tummy gun. I dropped out really on my chain like I know beer buns. And I got a head full of hair like I'm from Amazon. Glaze that ass like a candle, honey. Ferragamo shower shoes for me. Light board, Nick got jewels on it. Like an old school, I got some pool on it. Say, abracadabra, abracadabra. Kill all you bastards. I don't want no wrestle, the bread ambassador. Don't nothing that's matter to him. I'm ballin' like Patrick, you turn up on you bastards. I mean, it goes like Casper. Everything goes smooth for me, like I got my masters. Fubu platinum up, birds in the Acura. Albums platinum up, I'm killing these bastards. Like family don't matter. What's poppin', what's the deal? 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 Country Billy made a couple million. Trying to party Rolls Royce inside the Piccadilly. Oh, he had a couple strikes out the street. Of course. Got another $500,000 white tees, of course. Don't you panic. Don't you take this shit for granted. Don't you panic. When I put my knee in your pants, don't you panic. When I catch up with your bitch, you know I'm smashing. I can put her on her feet. Oh, head gas. You gotta tell me what's wrong. I can't wait to be stroll to the mall. Let it be my dick up my right when you yawn. You gotta put that push my lip whenever I'm on one. I think the red dog saw I put my bum up. I'm about to fuck somebody, girl, off this rum. Go ahead. I'm chasing all of these rats like I was Tom, yeah. But it don't even matter. I was trying to kill these bastards. My family don't matter. What's poppin', what's the deal? What's poppin', what's the deal? What's poppin', what's the deal?
watch myself. I be having nightmares shaped like you. You be blowing smoke clouds shaped like me. I be having nightmares shaped like you. You be blowing smoke clouds shaped like me. 2 cups, can I drown in my mind too? Hear the track spinning back, catch a vibe too. This the shit that be bad, so bad, it's good for you, eh? Take a hit, we can sip like it's medicine. Chemistry, remedy, there's no better than this the shit that be bad, so bad, it's good for you, eh?
White family don't matter.
What's poppin'? What's stadium? 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 What's poppin'? What's stadium?
Hope I see you tomorrow. Try to see you. I'm the black Christian Grey. Wanna be you. I got 50 shades of beige. 50 different bitches. Chill. Want to see you tomorrow. Try to see you tomorrow. Try to see you tomorrow. I know you right. I got these bitches on the slide. I put some forties on my ride. Man, my dogs headed to the sky. Cloud9 calling me. Couple bad bitches too. I got mine on me. Listening to digits, ooh. Feet up, baby girl, let's live. PJ man, yeah, baby, let's go to live. To rest from shoes. My gym shoes. My bitch Chanel. Pity the fool. I got Chanel on my socks. Ayy, Silky Versace her crotch. Ayy, Ben and Jerry. About to eat her ice cream. I came from pillar to post. Ice in my back on froze. Penthouse, whole Chicago. That my second home. I'm in Atlanta though. I just got back home. I got my money now. Tap my reels, heel stone. Yeah. I just wanna see tomorrow. I'm trying to see tomorrow. Let's fly away. On time ain't late. I was speed raising. I know you right. But I'm tired of trying right. No matter what, you gotta stay by my side. Right around, you better ride or die. Till infinity.